No,
I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
No time for that today, dude.
I got my mind on my money and my money on my...
No time for that today, bro. No time for that, dude. This is serious. This is serious. You might want to catch this one. Why does it seem like when me and my boy Jason McElhone finally get good news to give to you, they come out with this? Why is it that when we fight the good fight for so long and then we get a little crumb for you guys out there, they come up and they take a whole plate and just, come on, man. Shout out to my boy Jason McElhone. Keep fighting for these guys. They need them now more than ever. And we ain't gonna quit.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true, ladies and gentlemen. The IRS is getting $80 billion to build up their program to come after 80% of that money of the $80 billion is to come after small businesses making $200,000 a year or less. It's true. I know. Usually we do grants. We're looking to go get money because we have businesses that are struggling, that are in need of money. But now this is the opposite. And when we get grants, it's like, yeah, we might get it. It's possible, slim chance we're going to get it, but we're going to give it a shot. This is happening, and you're going to be getting a letter. You could be getting a letter in your mailbox from the IRS shortly. Not only are they getting $80 billion in funding to come after small businesses, well, $64 billion is going to come after small businesses, or is it $68 billion, something like that. But they just bought $700,000 in ammunition. They're storing up millions of dollars in ammunition. Is it true? Yes, it's true. I know it's hard to believe. I'm trying to wrap my head around it right now, and we're going to get to the point of this. We're going to get to the major issues, and we're going to show you the facts behind all of this and what you have to expect, which is going to happen with your business, whether we like it or not. This one is set in stone. It's going to happen pretty much, unless one senator votes against it, but I doubt she will. Sinema, we need you. But yeah. Like, subscribe, click the notification button so when I get information out, you can get information in. You're in for a treat here, and this knowledge will give you something to look forward to in the future, if we can call it that, looking forward to. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. We're getting bipartisan comments here and reviews, which is good because we're a bipartisan channel. I don't affiliate myself with the Republicans or the Democrats. Neither one of them really show who I am as a person. Both of them kind of go one way or the other, one way too far right, one way too far left. I'm sort of set in the middle, but now the left is moving over a little bit too far. I'm standing more on the right, kind of like Elon Musk. I kind of feel exactly like he does right now. But we're going to be getting our information from the New York Post, right-leaning, MSNBC, left-leaning, and straight from the when Biden did his speech in March. So straight from the Capitol, the White House, from Biden himself. So guys, here we go. Enjoy. Tax experts say 80% of the new IRS revenue will come from small businesses earning under $200K. Why are they clapping? Now here we have the most powerful politicians in the world, surrounded by the toadies that ensure the constant stream of sunshine flowing up all of their natural anuses, and even in delivering a speech that's punishing and demoting the people who they work for and voted for them, as politicians work so hard behind closed doors to drop legislation in a vocabulary that will taint the odor of the words in a speech to make their putrid and rank tax laws sound like or smell like roses and lavender political ear candy for the listener that trust their motives without even surveying it or analyzing the loss of liberties that they'll be taken away from them with a smile and applause for gaining more power over them. It's all behind closed doors they're doing this, but then it comes out in the open in a sheet and it's signed, sealed, and delivered. We have nothing to do with it, but they're clapping, so I guess we're supposed to, hey, yeah, we're clapping too. Yeah, come and take her. Oh wait, I can't give you any money, IRS. All right, now I put the last $10 in my gas tank, but I could probably scrounge some change up for you if you need it for your $80 billion. Small business owners may soon be in for a lengthy and expensive battle with the IRS. Tax experts warn.
We come from the land of corporate America. There are more corporations incorporated in America than every other state in America combined. And I still won 36 years in a row. Now look, it's not fair.
Look, it's not fair. You're not clapping. You're supposed to be clapping. You know, it's a revealing statement that he just made when he's in office for 36 years. And his whole state was not mainly the majority of the state was big corporations, and people would have probably felt better if he would have said, my state's known for having successful small businesses or growth in small businesses around here. That's what we're known for. But no, we're known for the big business and the success of our 36 corporates around here, the greatest in the world, the biggest in the world. No, but he's clearly flaunting his big business love here, and I guess we should keep clapping. Yay, big corporations, big business. Yeah, bring it on. What else you got for us there, Joe? A key provision in the Inflation Reduction Act, which throws an extra $80 billion into the IRS to improve the agency collection under reported income, will end up targeting small business owners to pay for the legislation, according to nonpartisan watchdog of the Joint Committee on Taxation. $80 billion. $80 billion. Now think about that. $80 billion to the IRS, and that if you own a small business and you were in line to get a loan or a grant, or that was promised to you, like maybe the EIDL $10,000 grant, I don't know, whatever you're thinking, I don't know. Wouldn't you hope that you might be one of the first ones on the list? Because if the restaurants got their $28 billion as promised, and if they gave the rest of the another $20 billion to EIDL grant program, there's $48 billion, in which 60% of $80 billion, that's 60% of $80 billion, if my math is correct. And it gives the IRS, still gives them another $32 billion to expand and go get the scammers. I'm okay with that. But shouldn't we have taken care of the restaurants and the small businesses first, and then went to the IRS, take care of the people, and then the government? Now here we're going into building the big government bigger, and we're knocking down the small business, and we're coming after you. So they just gave $40 billion to another country's war and left its own people out to dry here. Doesn't it kind of feel like they're in this for their own power, for a big power grab over the people? I think so. But I don't know. What do you think? It sounds kind of fishy to me. But when they went out and get votes from the American people, did they campaign on how big pharma was going to get, or how many billions of dollars would go out to different countries, or audits would go to the IRS, and how big the IRS would make, and they're going to tax you to death, and the gasoline prices would go out the door, and the inflation would go up? Did they campaign on any of this that's really actually they're doing right now? How the tax IRS is going to come and audit every one of your tails, and that they're going to squeeze every dime that they can get out of you and give it to them and to other governments, big governments here. It's just getting crazy now, and how they're going to, tax and spend more so that you have to work harder and give them more money. It's starting to get a little carried away. But we're to get in line here. We're supposed to We're supposed to only listen to them and only speak when spoken to, and they never speak to hear our voice. They speak for us to listen only here. But they're clapping, and why would the New York Post use the word watchdog? You're like, you don't have to call them watchdogs, do you? That's kind of sounds to me like you're being a little bit partisan there. You're kind of leaning way right by calling them that. But as if they would ever say that they were going to send watchdogs after their own people, right? I think it was just a prejudice illustration, maybe by the writer, or was it?
My plan will not only lower costs and give families a fair shot, it will lower the deficit. The previous administration not only ballooned the deficit with those tax cuts for the very wealthy and corporations, it undermined the watchdogs, the job of those to keep pandemic relief funds being wasted. Remember, we had those debates about whether or not those watchdogs should be able to see every day how much money was being spent, where was it going to the right place? In my administration, the watchdogs are back. And we're going to go after the criminals who stole billions of relief money meant for small business and millions of Americans. And tonight I'm announcing that the Justice Department will soon name a chief prosecutor for pandemic fraud.
Oh, so they are the watchdogs. Thank you for watching over us. And he said they're going to go after them and get every penny from those fraudsters and watchdogs we're sending out. But he didn't say we're going to go after every penny and give it back to the American people. He's saying we're going to go after every penny and put it into our program to make ourselves richer. Who's worse, the people that they're going after or them? Because from what I'm knowing, from what I'm understanding now, what just came out today on the news from Senator Gates, or is it Congressman Gates? Congressman Gates from Florida, of course. He said, we're going to go after the criminals who stole billions of relief money meant for small business and millions of Americans. And tonight I'm announcing that the Justice Department will soon name a chief prosecutor for pandemic fraud. Oh, so they are the watchdogs. Thank you for watching over us. And he said they're going to go after every penny and give it back to the American people. He's saying we're going to go after every penny and put it into our program to make ourselves richer. Who's worse, the people that they're going after or them? Because from what I'm knowing, from what I'm understanding now, what just came out today on the news from Senator Gates, or is it Congressman Gates? Congressman Gates from Florida, of course. the IRS he is not only saying this, they're doing it. They've literally went out and got almost $700,000 in ammunition for the IRS. That's right. I know, during this time where we're supposed to take away your guns, we're supposed to take away your rights, we're supposed to blah, 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 for your guns. But in the meantime, while they're doing this, they're packing their bags with guns and with ammunition and with loading up. Not the military to go after other countries, the IRS to come after you. And I mean, I know they just killed a leader, one of the leaders of Al Qaeda in Afghanistan, and I'm wondering who they sent over there. Was it the Green Beret? Was it the Navy SEAL, or was it the IRS? Did they send the IRS there? Let's see what's going on with this. But first, let's read about that watchdog one more time, just to make sure we're getting things straight here, because now that watchdog fits in. They are the watchdogs. A key provision in the Inflation Reduction Act, which throws an extra $80 billion to the IRS to improve the agency's collection of underreported income, will end up targeting small business owners to pay for the legislation, according to the nonpartisan watchdog of the Joint Committee on Taxation. Yay! Yay! What do you think? Article that just came out today. Now let's see which way they steer us away from the 80 billion into another area, so that we take our mind off the 80 billion that they're coming after us into another area and how they're coming after us, and see what we get. Congressman Matt Gaetz introduced a bill this week that would ban the IRS from purchasing any more ammunition after having already reached an alarmingly high amount. Matt Gaetz introduced this bill banning IRS from acquiring ammunition. Could that be true?
But I am certainly aware that our fellow Americans are concerned about a very troubling trend where these bureaucracies are getting their own militias and arsenals. It would probably surprise most Americans that just this year, the IRS has purchased $700,000 worth of ammunition. So when you peel back all the layers of the onion, the party of big government isn't actually against guns and ammo. They're just against you having them, because they want a citizenry that is repressed and dominated and ultimately subjected. And by the way, our founders were so brilliant, they knew this would happen. And they knew that the Second Amendment wasn't going to be about hunting or self-defense, but about curating an appropriate balance that is necessary for a free society where we don't have to live in fear that one day some deputy administrator from the Department of Education is going to knock our door down, and that as a result of us not having the appropriate protractor, that we're somehow going to be in a disadvantageous position regarding our safety, and far more important, regarding our liberty. I yield back to the gentleman from...
Can we get a mic drop now, or what? That was pretty good. Matt Gaetz, he's another Floridian that seems to lean way right, a little bit too right, but hey, to each his own. But what he said, is that true? Did they just go out and purchase another $700,000 in ammunition? Well, that's got to be fact-checked, like everything does these days, which I did. So first, let me bring you over to this tweet that I just saw today on my feed. It just said, Juan A. Rios wrote, a Biden administration proposing the largest tax hike in American history, now at this critical time when Americans are struggling all-time high inflation and gas prices. 2, IRS purchases $700,000 in ammunition, not pocket protectors, ammunition. Should we be worried? So Verify checked him out to verify this, and they say, yes, it's verified. IRS service did buy nearly $700K in ammunition in 2020. And we verify that by going forward. On the verification channel, we see the statement goes, yes, between March 1st and June 1st, 2022, the IRS ordered $696,000 in ammunition, a spokesperson confirmed to Verify. So that happened. It did happen, and they verified it with a spokesperson. However, in that time, you just think about that crazy time between March 1st and June 2nd, what happened as well. The shooting happened at the school. Remember that in Uvalde? And then what happened after that? Right after that, I believe it was June, was it in July? Or maybe it was in later, like June 7th or 8th. They came with a new gun law that pulled away some more rights for people to get firearms in a certain way. But still, it took away some more rights from the firearms. But just let's move on from here and try and understand where all this is going. Between March 1st and June 1st, 2022, the criminal division of the IRS ordered $696,000 in ammunition, the IRS told Verify in an email. The order was for the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, which is a federal law enforcement agency that conducts criminal investigations, including tax violations, money laundering, cybercrimes, and organized crime involving drugs and gangs. There are more than 2,000 sworn special agents in the division. So the money does go to the IRS, and it seems like it's been an ongoing thing here with the IRS getting these type of funds. Maybe not when the other president was here. He might have stopped the IRS from getting this, because how much ammunition do they need? If you're going to get $1 million in ammunition, let me know how much of it you used that year, because whenever I see somebody getting arrested for fraud, it's not like, it's not this shootout in this military op. It's usually an old white man walking with his dog or cat out of a middle class home or something like that. It's just like with his head down, or maybe even a wealthy home. But it's never like this shootout that they're talking about. I don't think they need $1 million in ammunition. And if they've been doing this for a while, they got a lot of ammo. Let's keep going. But hey, many of these cases are typically worked in conjunction with other state and federal law enforcement agencies. IRS CI special agents have been carrying firearms throughout the more than 100-year history of the agency and have found themselves dealing with some of the most dangerous criminals, an IRS spokesperson told Verify. Some of the most, yeah, okay. Maybe. I thought it would be the cartel or something like that, or Al-Qaeda or ISIS, or I don't know, maybe, but I don't know. I've never seen the shootouts between these guys. From 2010 to 2017, the IRS has spent an average of $675,000 on ammunition a year, the report shows. During that time, the IRS spent the most in 2011 with $1,100,000 in spending. 2010 to 2017, why did it stop in 2018? Because there was a new sheriff in town who didn't like the IRS getting all that ammunition. And here it is, the ammunition data. As you can see, 2010 to 2017 were enormous amounts of money for the IRS. And this is just ammunition, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't the guns and all the other stuff that goes on. I wonder if they got the F-16s or what, stealth bombers and whatever they got. Do they got nukes? Does the IRS have nukes? I don't think so, but I'm just saying this is just the ammunition. They get more than just ammunition, so watch out for the IRS. They're serious. In no quantity or firearm of intended use is reported, and officials reported that quantity and firearm of intended use data are not retained in the system. So they're not going to tell you exactly what they got, but they did get some ammunition for the IRS agents, and $80 billion for IRS agents to go after Americans. It just doesn't seem like it's adding up into anything that's really positive. And remember this, Joe Biden said, everybody's like, no, he's not going to raise it on individuals with $400,000 who make $400,000 or less. But if we read it correctly, let's remember they talk in ways to get around what they actually said here. Remember, we're dealing with a politician, a long-term politician here. He said, and under my plan, nobody earning less than $400,000 a year will pay an additional penny in new taxes. Nobody, Biden said Tuesday night. That was March 1st during this presidential thing he did. And then President Joe Biden reiterated his promise during the State of the Union on Tuesday night not to raise taxes on households with less than $400,000 of annual income to fund domestic agenda. He didn't say small businesses. He said households, individuals, households. He didn't say small businesses in there. Okay, so if he says small businesses can get taxed now, he can also say, I never said anything about small businesses. No. Okay, let's move forward. The group estimates that between 78% and 90% of the estimated additional $200 billion the IRS will collect will come from small businesses making less than $200,000 annually. Just 4% to 9% would come from businesses making north of $500,000 a year, meaning that the legislation is in sharp contrast to President Biden's long-standing claim that he wouldn't raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000. He never said, I won't raise taxes on small businesses. In fact, he said, we're going after small businesses are going to pay for this. The IRS will have to target small and medium businesses because they won't fight back. Joe Hinchman, Executive Vice President of National Taxpayers Union Foundation, told the Post. We've seen this play out before. The IRS says we're going after the rich, but when you're trying to raise that much money, the rich can only get you so far. In fact, going after the lower and middle class can actually be much more lucrative for the IRS auditors than trying to get more money from the wealthy. The rich have their lawyers to fight it, That's why the poor are easier to go after, Hinchman adds. According to tax experts, warn that the IRS's audits will be far more painful and costly for small business owners, even for those who think they're filing their taxes correctly. Huh, I filed my taxes correctly. Put your hands behind your back, sir, on the ground, on the ground, on the ground, on the ground. No, 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 no. I'm clapping. Most small businesses aren't doing anything wrong, Daniel Bunn, Executive Vice President at the Tax Foundation, told the Post. We don't make the tax code simple, and the complicated tax code makes it difficult for small business owners to comply with all the requirements. They're doing it on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. What are they? I'm clapping. Even if small business owners get everything right, they still may be faced with a headache, since part of the IRS expansion will involve sending out more notices and letters to businesses, Bunn adds. For individual contractors or small businesses, an IRS letter that they owe more money or made an error on their tax can put them underwater. We're already going underwater. Get the dogs off. Take your watchdogs away, please. Anytime you get an IRS letter, it could take months or years to get it settled. We're talking many thousands of dollars to address, Bunn added. Large companies have constant reviews and lawyers going through everything. Small business doesn't have the resources to fight back in that way. The White House has dismissed claims the bill would hurt lower and middle income Americans, instead noting the JCT estimate doesn't take into account how much the bill will offset costs for average Americans like prescription drugs. But tax experts aren't so sanguine about the reality of giving IRS more resources. The approach here is to double the IRS workforce, take the leash off, and see how much they can collect, Hinchman adds. I think they'll collect it, but it'll be quite painful. Last thing we need right now in this economy is more quite painful. And just to give you a demonstration, an idea of how maybe not so good this bill might be, this bill is bad enough to where Bernie Sanders actually even is thinking about re-looking this over. And for Bernie, the most socialist politician out there, the most left-leaning, far left out there, to have confronted the issue on this bill, saying it's not quite done, I'm hoping that he means that in a way that might stop it from going through, or does he want to add more? Because they can add as much as they want right now. They're putting this through. Here's what Bernie had to say. Senator John Cornyn stated on a tweet, "Rarely do I agree with Bernie, but here he's spot on." Bernie Sanders said on August 2nd, the 700-page so-called Inflation Reduction Act, after months of secret negotiations, became public last week. Now is the time for every member of the Senate to study this bill thoroughly and to come up with amendments and suggestions as how we can improve it. So they even left Bernie out of the loop here, and it doesn't sound like Bernie's real happy, but to read a 700-page form that's worth $800 billion, I think in total, is what they're going after for all the green energy and all the taxes that they're trying to collect here. From a lot of it from you. For Bernie to say that, this could put things in a whole new frame light. Are they going to want more than 800 billion, or are they going to want less? Is he going to pull that IRS thing out of there? Is Bernie going to say, wait a minute, you promised this, we can't go forward with this because you're breaking the promise to the small businesses? Or do they really even care about small businesses? Because sometimes it just feels like they don't. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they care about you? I don't have all the answers here. I'm just here to give this information out and give it to you in a way that hopefully is edible. So here you have it. I've given it to you. Don't shoot the messenger. That's all I'm doing, is giving the message, and hopefully you enjoyed it and got something out of it, and know what to expect, know what's going on out there, know the wheels are in motion for this. And if it does happen, don't say you weren't warned or told about it, unless you didn't watch Speak and See. You never know. Guys, I want to thank you all for watching, because I do appreciate you all. I do this because I want you guys to have the most recent, up-to-date information, the best information, the most clarity on the facts of the information. I'm still going to be out there looking for grants and loans for you small businesses. When you leave your comments down below, we do look into those fields and in those areas where you're at. So make sure you leave a comment down below where you're at. And we're looking for grants in those areas for you. But in this case right here, this isn't about the government getting grants to you. This is about the government taking those grants, if you got one or if you didn't, getting money from you. The air is clear. Now we can all see what's going on, and it's better to be able to know what's going on than be in the dark, and these things these Senate hearings can happen at 2 o'clock in the morning when everybody's sleeping. They've done it before. Let's hope they don't do that again and come up and attack us with a surprise on this. Guys, once again, thanks for watching. Love you all. You have a blessed day. Somebody say hey. We still want our 10K.
Yeah.